Well, the South Koreans and the Americans are looking at the latest satellite imagery of North Korea's Yongbyon nuclear facility. And the thing that is becoming interesting is that where the coolant tower once was, and that was knocked down in 2008 as part of agreements between the North Koreans and the international community to end their nuclear program, there's been a lot of new construction. So there's signs of excavation, there's vehicles parked there, there's 2 new buildings that are being built, and this is raising a lot of questions as to just what the North Koreans are doing at the site. The construction is coming as North Korea is also threatening to continue developing its nuclear deterrent, as the North Koreans like to call it. So it makes people wonder whether or not the North Koreans are going to restart the reactor. For the North Koreans, this serves a couple of purposes. One, of course, it helps to develop more of a nuclear deterrent, and from their perspective, having the nuclear deterrent is what prevents countries like the United States from attacking North Korea in the same way that the US attacked Iraq. The other issue is that North Korea really is eager to get back into some form of international negotiations. They're really trying to gain a certain amount of space to try some new economic experiments, maybe open up some new economic zones. And one of the hindrances to that, of course, is the relationship with the United States and the stalemate in the nuclear talks. By starting reconstruction, the North Koreans are sending kind of a signal that any talks need to accelerate. One of the reasons the North Koreans need to do this also is because talks are currently held up by the South Koreans and the Americans demanding that Pyongyang apologize for the sinking of the South Korean ship, the Cheonan. The North Koreans have no intention to apologize, and talks cannot restart. But if there's a sense that no talks is going to allow the North Koreans to reprocess more plutonium and make more nuclear weapons, that may change the calculus. With the North Korean leadership change, we're really starting to see Kim Jong-un take his position next to his father. We expect to see a lot more of him in the coming months and in the coming years. And one of the things that Kim Jong-il has pledged is to strengthen the North Korean economy by 2012. And so there is a sense of urgency on the North Korean part as well to push forward with talks, or at least to push forward with these economic reforms. And that does tie very closely into the leadership transition. What we may see next is the Chinese making another move. The Chinese talking to the South Koreans or the Japanese to try to draw them back in. The North Koreans have been working with the Chinese on this and working through China on this issue. We would expect to see the United States perhaps take a little bit different tone and maybe send some quiet envoys over to North Korea.